Hello, Cookbook friends. My name is Carrie from Cookbook Divas, and I'm here with my co-host, Katie.
Hello.
Happy spring!
Yay!
We are so excited it's spring. Here in Seattle, there's beautiful cherry blossoms everywhere, and it's finally sunny, and it's given us a little break from the rain. Although the rains are coming back because this is Seattle, and we are able to drink hot tea far longer into the year than our friends and relatives who live in, say, Southern California.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Today was really cold, for instance, so it would have been perfect, but it's sunny, so it's like the perfect time to have tea right now.
And I was reminiscing about the pre-pandemic times when this time of year I was a member of a meetup social club, and I was legendary, if I say so myself, for throwing spring tea parties. And I would throw them in the garden if possible, but it's not usually possible. And so I would throw them in my house, and sometimes I would announce that we were going to watch Pride and Prejudice, and people that are into that would come hang out, and I would do that 2 weekends in a row because it's a 6-hour, the 1995 Minisode, or episode, mini-series. And so we would sit around and drink tea and watch Colin Firth and drool over him. And then I would throw other tea parties where we just chatted and whatnot, and I miss doing that.
Yeah.
And
so
I have all my tea cookbooks put away because I'm not making little nibbles and finger sandwiches because I can't have people into my house safely right now. But it's coming. It's coming back.
Yes. Soon, hopefully. That's why we're doing a tea party episode.
Yay! Yes, I'm going to get out my tea party books and dust them off and start going through them and getting ready for when I can safely throw a tea party. So we have about almost 10 of our favorite tea party books from the last several years, and we thought we would chat with you about them. And Katie is going to go first.
Yeah, so my first book is called Afternoon Tea at Home, Deliciously Indulgent Recipes for Sandwiches, Savories, Scones, Cakes, and Other Fancies. It came out February 16th of this year. It's by Will Torrent. I believe I've talked about this book, or at least I've written about this book quite a bit because it has some amazing photos in here. And it's not too pretentious, if I do say so myself. It looks very, it looks clean. It's not, it's still very elegant, but it's not, you don't see all the plates with all the floral decorations and stuff like you would with traditional, like, Victorian style tea parties. They cover a lot of the basics, like, like we said, scones and sandwiches and those kinds of things. Like, for instance, I'm really looking forward to this lemon and polenta drizzle cake. Ooh. It looks so good, and they're those really pretty. I'm trying to remember what they look like, little shell shapes. I don't remember what that.
Oh, is it Madeline's?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, so they're really pretty, and it's just a really informative cookbook. It has 80 recipes. So yeah, you're never gonna run short on recipes for throwing tea parties of any kind. So, and that includes little tea parties for kids or adults. So I definitely recommend this particular cookbook. And again, that's Afternoon Tea at Home, Deliciously Indulgent Recipes for Sandwiches, Savories, Scones, Cakes, and Other Fancies.
So next up, I want you to raise your hand if you're a Downton Abbey fan. Well, don't raise your hand if you're listening to our podcast in the car. So the official Downton Abbey Afternoon Tea Cookbook came out last year in April, and my birthday is in April, and I dropped hints and dropped hints and dropped hints, and none of my friends and family members, one of them is my co-host, got me this book, so I gave up and got it for myself. That's right. The Downton Abbey Afternoon Tea Cookbook has gorgeous photos, and some of them are of teapots and tea inside them, and it makes me thirsty to look at it. And some of them are beautiful pastries, like I would never actually probably bake at home. For example, a Battenberg cake. That's one of those where it's wrapped in some kind of a frosting thing, and the inside is like a checkerboard. This particular one is pink and white, so there's 4, different little... When you slice the cake open, it looks really pretty. I'm probably not going to attempt that. Yeah. I don't have that. But it's lovely to have a tea book to look through and be like, oh, I could if I wanted to. Right. There's a mouth-watering picture of lemon tarts. There's a few, not as many as the other Downton Abbey cookbooks, pictures of the cast, the stars of the show. But that's okay, because I'm here for the recipes. There's a recipe for chocolate Florentines. And let's see if I can see the table of contents, because I'm going off the Amazon listing because I did not dust off my copy of this book to bring for this podcast. Sorry. Where's the table of contents? Here it is. Pastries, buns, and biscuits, cakes, tarts, and puddings, tea sandwiches, and savory bites, and preserves and spreads. That is the official Downton Abbey afternoon tea cookbook. I highly recommend it.
Awesome. Yeah, I actually have to watch Downton Abbey. I'm sorry, Carrie. Anyway, moving on.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna be
I know.
so embroiled in the upstairs downstairs style drama, and you're probably gonna identify more with the servants than the rich people. Most of us do.
Yeah,
and we'd start hating the rich people. I mean,
yes, hatred. I'm sorry. I don't hate anybody. So the next book I want to talk about is The Art of Tea, Recipes and Rituals, Victoria. This is kind of I really like this book because one of my first actual tea party experiences that I can recall is actually going to Victoria and going to the Empress and having that whole, and I really miss that. I still to this day, and I'm not a dressing up kind of girl or anything like that, but I actually really love this. Like, that's just so much fun. So this book is really pretty, obviously. So it's kind of the opposite of the one I talked about before. It's incredibly elegant. It's got all of the traditional, very floral decorations, the stainless silver serving platters. It's just very beautiful. So this particular book not only goes and has like a whole array of recipes in here, but they definitely emphasize how atmosphere is just as important to a tea party as the actual teas that you're serving and what pairings you're using. So this is like the ultimate tea party book, in my opinion, especially if you want something super elegant and just beautiful and, kind of learning about hospitality in that, in the tea party realm of things.
Oh, yeah.
It's just really cool. So some of the recipes in here that I'm seeing this one sounds interesting. It's a chilled rhubarb and strawberry soup. I've never had fruit soup before, so that would...
I have. I can't say it's my favorite, but in the summer on a really hot day, I might be desperate enough to go for it.
Sure. They also have gingered scones with peach preserves. That sounds good. Cucumber and radish tea sandwiches with herbed cheese. Obviously, that is going to be delicious.
Yes.
So those are just a few hints of things you'll see in here, and also just glorious pictures with beautiful table settings and stuff like that. So that, again, is The Art of Tea, Recipes and Rituals. It came out April 7th, I forgot to mention, in 2020. It's by Jordan Markser.
The next book I wanted to chat about, I don't actually own and I haven't seen it, so we'll just go over it really quickly. It's called Teatime Parties, Afternoon Tea to Commemorate the Milestones of Life. It came out in 2017, and the editor was Lorna Abels-Reeves. And it must have something to do with Teatime magazine or something, but I'm very intrigued because it also shows table settings for tea parties such as birthdays, christenings, engagements, weddings, graduations, retirements. I never thought of throwing a retirement tea party.
That would be cute.
Yeah. There's a tea pairing guide, a tea steeping primer, and 80 recipes in this gorgeous, supposedly, hardcover book. And the cover does not disappoint. Oh, it is from Teatime magazine. Yay! So, I think I will pick this up to add to my entertaining book collection, which is quickly taking over my cookbook bookshelf.
Yes.
And by bookshelf, I mean bookcase, and I have 3 of them. But anyway, that's Teatime Parties, Afternoon Tea to Commemorate the Milestones of Life.
I actually have 2 Teatime books, but the first one I'm going to talk about is Teatime Birthdays. So specifically birthdays, afternoon tea celebrations for all ages. It came out September 15, 2020. It's also by Lorna Abels-Reeves. I think she's like the queen of tea parties. As far as I've read, she's the editor of Teatime magazine, so she knows her tea and her parties. I really like this tea party book because sometimes we think tea parties are exclusively for ladies.
Yeah.
And she has actually incorporated it, like themes, tea birthday themes that actually are also male oriented and girl oriented. Like, it's just everybody is involved in tea time, and I really like that. So an example she has is she's got themes for like little girls fairy inspired birthdays, or a Jurassic Park themed one for boys.
That is cool. That is really cool.
I was like, I kind of want that for myself. So she has 90 recipes in this particular book that all complement with like your teas, so you can be making a specific tea, and then you can figure out what actual recipes you're going to pair properly with the teas you're serving. I need a lot of help with that personally, so I feel like this is kind of a book that would benefit me. Obviously the themes are very important in this book, so each picture kind of displays what each theme would look like. So you've got a variety of pictures. You know, it's not totally elegant or totally modern. You've got a whole variety. So it's a really cool cookbook. I definitely recommend this one. So again, that's Tea Time Birthdays, Afternoon Tea Celebrations for All Ages.
Next up, I have the Perfect Afternoon Tea Recipe Book, more than 200 classic recipes for every kind of traditional tea time treat, by Anthony Wilde and Carol Pastor. I don't own this one either, and I wonder why that is, because I tend to buy any book on tea I can get my hands on. So I'm peeking at what Amazon is showing us. They're showing us a summer berry tart, some custard tarts. I'm not normally a custard person, but
I love custard.
Yeah,
oh, goodness.
Maybe it's too gooey for me.
Maybe.
There are crab sandwiches, which I never think to serve, and I should. Turkey and cranberry sandwiches. I love that. I don't think about turkey and cranberry till Thanksgiving, but
right.
Yeah, why not? There's some ham and English mustard sandwiches, roast beef and horseradish. I'm not a horseradish fan. It's a little spicy or something. I see a recipe for strawberry crumble squares. I see beautiful pictures where the food is on a plate next to a teapot. Love it. That's the Perfect Afternoon Tea Recipe Book from April 2019 by Anthony Wilde and Carol Pastor.
Awesome. My last tea time book is Tea Time Parties Around the World, Globally Inspired Tea Time Celebrations. This came out September 1st in 2018. This is, again, Lorna Abels-Reeves. So we have chapters on specific areas of the world. So Australia, China, France, Japan, India, Morocco. So all of these places have different, tea flavors and, like what they serve with their tea, or if they serve with tea, or how they, celebrate with tea. So this is actually another one that I really like, because I love learning about these things. And tea is, I don't ever think, like, when I'm actively thinking about food, I always think, oh, rice, everybody has rice. But tea, everybody also has tea. So this particular book has more than 100 recipes in here for special occasions. And they also, again, have the tea pairings for different regions and what food they serve simultaneously. I'm trying to see if we have any recipes listed on here, and I'm not seeing that, but the pictures, again, are beautiful, and their theme very worldly, and very elegant too. So you'll see like a very traditional English tea setting with the beautiful floral decoratives, and then you might see, I think this might be a Moroccan, where there's a lot of gold embellished plates, and then they have these really awesome tiny finger foods with their tea and flowers everywhere. It's just a really gorgeous book. I love it, and you get to see a little bit of the world at the same time. So again, that is Tea Time Parties Around the World, Globally Inspired Tea Time Celebrations.
My final tea party book I want to chat with you about is making me a little angry because I gave it away and I should have kept one for myself. It's the Vintage Tea Party Book, a complete guide to hosting your perfect party by Angel Adore. It came out in February 2012, and I immediately got it for my friend who lives in San Diego, and she's obsessed with tea parties, although she never hosts them because she's shy and has a small house or apartment. that shouldn't stop you. You can still host. But
Yes.
at the time, I was able to look through pictures of it on Amazon, and people were doing book trailers for it. You'll have to look at the Angel Adore Vintage Tea Party book, because the cover of it is just gorgeous, very vintage style, very retro, kind of 40s or 50s. And I remember looking through it before I gift wrapped it and remailed it to my friend in this fancy wrapping paper. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And besides some recipes and info on throwing a tea party, because it's a vintage retro book, they included tips on hairstyling, makeup methods, and tips on where to collect vintage china, besides obviously Goodwill and eBay and Etsy.
Yeah, wow.
So I want to buy myself a copy of this, but right now on Amazon it's $49. That is not cool for a used
Whoa.
copy. So I'm going to go over to eBay and look for it there. The Vintage Tea Party book by Angel Adore.
The last book on my list, it's coming soon. It's going to be released August 3rd of this year, and I just wanted to prep everybody for it because it's going to be cool, and I will talk about it later when it is closer. But it's the American Girl Tea Parties, cookbooks for girls, kids parties, tea party, delicious sweets and savory treats to share. So this looks like a really fun cookbook, especially if I really want to get this and hang out with my niece. And
She's
play
going to
with
love
dolls and stuff. I think it's cute, personally.
She's finally old enough to get American Girl dolls too. Because she was a
Right.
little bit too young before, she would have destroyed them, but now, ooh.
Yeah. So I love that they've got savory and sweet treats in here. So they have like vanilla rose tea cakes, and strawberry shortcake. So all of these flavors are still good for kids too, because sometimes they look intimidating, or they're like, ew, rose, that's a flower. So, it'll be palatable for kids too. There's 50 recipes in here, so definitely keep an eye out for this book as it closely approaches the release day. So again, that's the American Girl Tea Parties cookbook, delicious sweets and savory treats to share. It comes out in August, so keep an eye out for that. So that is the end of our podcast, or our mini-sode today. Make sure to subscribe to hear about more cookbook goodies on Tuesdays and Fridays every single week. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Pinterest at Cookbook Divas. Also, check out our website at www.cookbookdivas.com, and we will see you soon.
Bye.